Hey guys, so I'm doing a haul, but don't worry, it's not your usual kind of haul. Today is Fashion Revolution Day, and I'm joining some other YouTubers and taking the haul, which is usually just a way to promote mass consumption, and changing it up. Fashion Revolution Day was created to encourage you to think about how your clothes were made, where they came from, and who made them. We all wear clothing, and our purchasing decisions can either go towards supporting unethical and destructive practices, or it can go towards supporting positive change, less consumption, and sustainable companies. For this alternative, I'm going to be showing you some items that I have updated and mended instead of buying new pieces. And I'm doing this because I think most of us have items in our closet that we maybe haven't really worn or are a little tired of. The average British woman actually has about 22 outfits in their closet that they will never wear. And in 2013, the US actually generated 13.1 million tons of textile waste, 11 million of which ended up in the landfill. So as you can see, buying and throwing away lots of clothing is a big problem. So I'm going to show you a few things that I've done with some of my clothes, and hopefully that inspires you to take a look at your closet and maybe see if there's something old that you can make into something new. So first I have this little bralette crop top. And this used to be a dress, and it was a dress I had for quite a while, and I was just a little bit tired of it. So what I decided to do was cut it in half and turn it into a skirt and a top. Basically, I just had to hem along the top edge of the skirt, tucking in the zipper, and for the top, all it involved was unpicking the zipper and sewing in a separating zipper and then hemming the bottom edge. If you're a sewer, this is quite easy to do. If you're not a sewer, you can definitely take a dress into a tailor and see if they can turn it into a top or a bottom for you. It's a really easy way to get new use out of a dress that you maybe haven't been wearing a lot. So next I have another dress to top, and that's this tank top, which is in my capsule wardrobe. And this used to be a longer dress that I was getting a little bit tired of, and also I was starting to notice a lot of pilling around the hips and butt area. So I decided to turn it into a top, and again it was quite easy. I just cut it off at the length I wanted, and then because it had this band at the bottom, I cut that off and just sewed it onto the bottom of the tank. And now I have a piece that I really like and get a lot of wear out of. Next, I have this Strappy Flowy tank top. And this was a bit more of a complicated sewing project, but I made this from a skirt that I found at a thrift store. Now, thrift and vintage stores carry some really beautiful fabrics and prints, but maybe the style isn't necessarily right. I find that there's tons of really flowy skirts, which basically gives you a lot of fabric. I used the hem from the skirt and cut out a very simple flowy top pattern. And I'll include a link below for a more detailed tutorial on how I did that if you're interested. So I bought the skirt because I really liked the silk fabric, but I'm not a huge fan of having a white tank top. So I'm probably gonna wear it for a little bit and then I'll likely dye it. You can very easily dye clothes, especially if they're a natural fiber like cotton or silk or wool. And dyeing is also really great if you have a piece of clothing that has lost its color, become discolored, or if you have any items that you really like but have never been a huge fan of the color. There are tons of different ways of dyeing your clothes and lots of really good information online. Next, I have these jeans. These jeans you've probably seen in my capsule wardrobes. I ended up distressing them, and now I'm in the process of patching them. As you can see, this is not finished. I've still got some safety pins in here because I'm currently working on it. I was really inspired by this image, and I've always been a fan of the Japanese Sashiko and Boro textiles. I think they're really beautiful. If you don't know what they are, I definitely recommend Googling some pictures of them. So I think they're going to be really interesting when they're done, and I love the look of the little stitches. Mine are quite messy. You can definitely do this in a much neater fashion. This is easy to do. You just need fabric, which goes on the inside, and then you just stitch on top of it. You can do all kinds of patterns. Anyone can do this. You don't need to be a sewer. All you need is some fabric, thread, and a needle. You can do messy stitches like mine or draw it out beforehand if you want them to be even. There's also longer needles if you want them, but I just use a regular needle. I find it's actually quite meditative to do the stitching, and you end up with a completely unique garment. And if you're interested in this kind of hand mending, look online. There are some gorgeous images of things that people have done. And finally, I have this hooded flannel shirt. I ended up doing this because I had this red hoodie and it shrunk and the sleeves were too short for me to wear, but it was really comfortable. I liked it. I didn't want to get rid of it. There are quite a few tutorials online on how to do this and combine a hoodie with either a jean jacket or just a shirt. It's another sewing project, but it's quite easy to do and just involves cutting off the sleeves, sewing on the new sleeves, cutting off the hood, and sewing that into the collar. So I decided to go with a men's flannel shirt because I wanted something oversized and I also wanted something that was kind of warm and cozy. I also decided to add these little brass studs on it, and now it's a really great layering piece that I enjoy wearing. I'm also thinking about possibly replacing the buttons on this, and replacing buttons is actually a really easy way to update coats, jackets, shirts, dresses. It may not seem like it, but changing a button can actually have a huge impact on the look of the garment. Here are some other ideas of little things you can do to your clothes to make them different. You can also raise hems, remove sleeves, change necklines, change belts, adjust fit, distress, embellish, overdye, or make something entirely new. There's endless inspiration. And remember that you don't have to be able to sew to update your garments. You can always take them into a tailor and they should be able to do tons of different alterations for you. So I hope you enjoyed this video and really encourage you to take part in Fashion Revolution Day. Ask companies who made my clothes. And it's not just about one day. Join the Haulternative movement. Share your own videos and photos. Your Haulternatives can be all kinds of things: vintage pieces, secondhand, swap parties, investment pieces. Also, I would love to see any clothes that you've updated or mended. Please share them with me on Twitter or Instagram. Thank you so much for watching. Be curious, find out, do something. Was the collapse of the Rana Plaza factory in